Every year, families across this country spend money they didn't have to spend, drain savings that didn't have to be drained, and exhaust themselves providing care they didn't have to provide entirely alone. All because no one ever told them about help they were fully entitled to. The help was there the whole time. Real programs, real benefits, real support that their parent qualified for. But nobody sent a letter. Nobody knocked on the door. Nobody sat the family down and said, "You know, there's assistance you can apply for." And so the help went unclaimed year after year, while the family quietly went broke and burned out, believing they were on their own. This is one of the cruelest facts about caring for an aging parent in America. Some of the most valuable help that exists is help you have to know to ask for. It does not come to you. And the families who don't know it exists are the ones who pay the highest price for a system they were actually entitled to lean on. So today, I'm going to tell you about the help families are entitled to that no one tells them to ask for. I'm going to walk you through the major categories of assistance that exist for aging parents and their families, the kinds of support, who they're generally for, and most importantly, how to actually find and access them. I'm not going to pretend the rules are simple, because they aren't, and they vary depending on where you live and your parents' specific situation. But by the end of this video, you're going to understand the landscape. You're going to know that this help exists, what shape it takes, and exactly where to start looking. And at the very end, I'm going to tell you the single most important thing you can do to unlock all of it. The one action that determines whether your family gets the help it's entitled to or leaves it all on the table. Stay with me for that, because it's the piece almost everyone gets wrong. Let's begin by understanding why this help is so hidden in the first place. Here's the thing you have to understand about why families miss out. The help that exists for aging parents is not organized, advertised, or delivered to you. It's scattered across a confusing patchwork of government agencies, veterans programs, non-profit organizations, and state and local services, each with its own rules, its own applications, its own eligibility requirements, and none of them talking to each other. There is no single place you go, no one person whose job is to hand your family the full menu of what you qualify for. So unless you happen to stumble onto each program, or know someone who's been through it, or think to go looking, you simply never find out. The system is not designed to find you. It's designed to be found, and only by the families persistent and informed enough to go looking. That's not a conspiracy. It's just bureaucratic reality. But the effect is the same as if it were designed to keep help from you. The families who don't know to ask don't receive. So the first and most powerful shift is simply knowing that the help is out there to be found. And going looking for it is one of the most valuable things you'll ever do for your parent and for yourself. And I want you to sit with the unfairness of this for a moment, because it matters. In almost every other part of life, when you're owed something, someone tells you. When you're due a refund, a notice arrives. When a benefit applies to you at work, someone in an office walks you through it. But in the one area where families are most frightened, most stretched, and most desperate for support, the help is the quietest it could possibly be. No one calls, no one writes. There's no welcome packet when your parent turns a certain age that lays out everything they might qualify for. Instead, exhausted families are left to somehow discover, on their own, in the middle of a crisis, a scattered web of programs that were available. Think about how many families never make that discovery. Think about the savings drained, the caregivers who quit their jobs, the retirements sacrificed, the marriages strained to breaking, all by families who believed they had no choice, no support, no options. It's one of the quietest tragedies in how we care for the old, and it repeats in millions of homes, invisibly, every single year. I'm telling you this not to make you angry, but to make you determined. Because the single thing that separates the families who get help from the families who don't is not wealth, and it's not luck. It's knowing to look and refusing to assume you're on your own. You now know to look. Let's start with the category that goes unclaimed more than almost any other: veterans' benefits. If your parents served in the military, or if they're the surviving spouse of someone who did, there may be significant benefits available to help with the cost of care. Many people assume veterans' benefits are only about service-related injuries, or only for those who were career military. But there are benefits specifically designed to help aging veterans and their surviving spouses with the costs of daily care. If there is any military service anywhere in your parents' history, do not assume you don't qualify. It is absolutely worth investigating, because this is one of the largest pools of unclaimed help there is. Start by looking into your National Veterans Affairs Department, and even better, find a veterans service organization or an accredited officer who helps families apply, often at no cost. Let me show you how much this gets missed, because it's staggering. Picture a family caring for an elderly father who'd served in the military decades earlier. To everyone, that service was ancient history. When the cost of his in-home help started mounting, it never once occurred to them that his long-ago service might entitle him to help. They discovered their father qualified for benefits that helped meaningfully with the cost of his care, benefits he'd been entitled to the entire time. Do not let that be your family. If there was ever a uniform in your parents' history, treat that as a reason to investigate. The second major category is government assistance for families with limited financial resources. In many countries, there is public assistance that can help cover the cost of long-term care for people whose income and assets fall below certain thresholds. I want to be careful and honest here, because this is genuinely complicated. The rules around who qualifies are intricate and vary significantly from place to place. This is not something you can fully figure out from a single video. The mistake families make is assuming either that they'd never qualify, or that these programs are only for people with nothing at all, and so they never even look into it. Don't make that assumption. The rules are more nuanced than most people think. The third category is one almost nobody thinks of, and it's completely free: your local area agency on aging. Across the United States, there exists a network of local agencies whose entire purpose is to help older adults and their families. These agencies often serve as a kind of hub that knows about the local programs, services, and resources available in your specific area. They can point you toward meal programs, transportation services, in-home support, and respite care. If you take just one concrete action after this video, finding and calling your area's agency on aging should be near the top of the list. Let me give you a sense of what that one phone call can unlock, because it's more than people expect. Think of a daughter who was overwhelmed, doing everything for her mother herself while holding down her own job. She'd never heard of an area agency on aging. That one call changed her situation. She learned her mother qualified for meal delivery and transportation services. It won't solve everything, but it is often the single call that turns "I'm doing this completely alone" into "there's actually a whole network here I never knew about." Make the call. It costs you nothing but a little time. The fourth category is everyday, practical support, meal delivery, transportation services, and adult day programs. There is relief worth knowing: respite care. Respite care is support designed specifically to give the family caregiver a break. Many families never access respite care simply because they don't know it exists or feel guilty using it. Don't. A break is not a luxury. It's part of what keeps you able to keep going. The fifth category is help that comes as knowledge and guidance. Professionals like geriatric care managers, elder law attorneys, and benefits counselors specialize specifically in the legal and financial side of aging. Yes, some of these professionals cost money, but the right guidance early often saves a family far more than it costs by unlocking benefits they'd have missed and avoiding expensive mistakes. Spending a little on the right guide can save a fortune. Imagine two families. The The first tries to navigate alone and makes costly missteps. The second spends a modest amount on an elder law attorney and benefits counselor. That modest investment is repaid many times over in money saved and stress avoided. There's a sixth category: support for you, the caregiver. Caring for an aging parent is stressful and isolating. There are caregiver support groups and resource organizations that offer education and counseling. You are a person whose well-being matters. A caregiver who takes care of themselves lasts. I've seen how much difference this makes. Consider a son who found an online support group. He learned what he was feeling was normal, which made him a more durable caregiver. Now, before I give you that single most important action, hear this clearly. The difficulty is normal. Accessing this help is often not easy. Persistence is the price of admission, and knowing that is what keeps you going when it gets frustrating. Now, before I give you that single most important action, hear this clearly. The difficulty is normal. Accessing this help is often not easy. Persistence is the price of admission, and knowing that is what keeps you going when it gets frustrating. So here it is, the single most important thing you can do to unlock all of it. Start looking early, before you're in a crisis. Almost every one of these programs takes time to research and establish eligibility. So here it is, the single most important thing you can do to unlock all of it. Start looking early, before you're in a crisis. Almost every one of these programs takes time to research and establish eligibility. The family that starts looking a year before they urgently need help has time to navigate calmly. Don't wait until you're desperate. An afternoon spent looking now can change the entire financial and emotional shape of the years ahead. The family that starts looking a year before they urgently need help has time to navigate calmly. Don't wait until you're desperate. An afternoon spent looking now can change the entire financial and emotional shape of the years ahead. This channel exists to help families find exactly this kind of help before a crisis forces their hand. Subscribe so the next video reaches you before you need it. Tell me in the comments, did you know this kind of help existed? One important note before I let you go. I'm not a doctor, a lawyer, or a financial advisor. Please treat this as a map of what to go looking for, not as professional advice for your specific situation. Talk to the right professionals, so the next time you feel like you're carrying all of this alone, remember what you learned today. You may not be as alone as you feel. Go find the help. Start this week, while there's still time for it to matter.